What if you could unlock the exact steps that lead to true financial freedom and personal success? Imagine waking up each day with clarity, focus, and unstoppable drive to build the life you deserve. This isn't about luck or shortcuts. It's about learning powerful lessons that anyone can apply right now to transform their mindset, habits, and actions. Are you ready to discover how to overcome excuses, master your emotions, and take massive daily action that moves you closer to wealth and fulfillment? In this video, you'll get 10 straightforward, life-changing lessons that have helped countless people rise from struggle to millionaire status. These lessons are practical, real, and designed to push you beyond your limits without overwhelm. Stay with me and you'll learn how to build discipline, protect your energy, invest in yourself, and surround yourself with the right people, all essential to your success. This is your moment to start living the life you've always wanted. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Build unshakable discipline through daily, consistent, hard actions. Discipline is the most powerful tool a person can develop. Without it, talent is wasted, time slips away, and potential dies quietly. But with discipline, real discipline, anything is possible. The kind of life you dream about, the results you quietly hope for, and the inner peace you crave, all depend on your ability to take action every single day, whether you feel like it or not. That's what this chapter is about. Building unshakable discipline through daily, consistent, hard actions. Not once in a while, not when it's convenient, but every day. You don't become disciplined by reading about it. You build discipline by doing what's hard every single day. No matter how you feel, no matter who is watching, no matter how slow it feels, discipline is forged through repetition. Not inspiration, not motivation, not luck, just effort, repeated so many times that it becomes who you are. The moment you begin acting with discipline is the moment your life begins to change. It starts small, one task, one decision, one moment, but it spreads, it multiplies, it builds a foundation under your feet that won't break when life shakes you. There is no shortcut to this. You have to earn it. You have to show up when it's easier to stay in bed. You have to push forward when quitting would be more comfortable. You have to make the hard choice every day until it becomes your default setting. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's not about being in the mood. It's about doing what must be done, regardless of mood. People who rely on how they feel never achieve anything lasting. People who rely on discipline build lives that others admire. Start by choosing one thing. One small thing you can do every single day, no matter what. Something that challenges you. Something that forces you to move forward. It could be waking up at a certain hour. It could be exercising daily. It could be writing for 30 minutes. Choose one thing and commit to it fully. Not for a day, not for a week, but for as long as it takes to become part of you. That small action becomes the seed of discipline. From there you add, you grow, you expand, and you will face resistance. Your mind will try to talk you out of it. You'll hear voices inside saying, skip today, or just do it tomorrow. That's the test. That's the moment where discipline is built. Every time you ignore the voice of comfort and choose the harder path, you become stronger. Every time you say no to weakness and yes to your growth, you earn self-respect. Discipline is built in silence, in private, when no one is clapping, when no one is cheering, when no one sees it but you. The secret is to make it non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth, like showing up to work, like breathing. There's no debate, there's no question. It just gets, and the more you make hard things non-negotiable, the more your life begins to rise. Most people negotiate with themselves every day. They bargain, they make excuses, they soften the edges of what needs to be done, and then they wonder why their results stay small. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline executes, period. You don't wait to feel ready. You act and let the feeling catch up later. You don't need motivation. You need commitment. You don't need the perfect plan. You need to do the simple thing every day until it works. You don't need someone to hold your hand. You need to hold yourself to a higher standard. And that's the truth. Most people avoid that kind of truth because it demands something from them. It exposes how often they let themselves off the hook. But truth is not your enemy. It's your wake-up call. You build discipline through structure, through routine, through planning your day so well that laziness has no room to sneak in. You wake up with a purpose. You start your day with intention. You remove distractions. You stick to the schedule you create. You don't scroll mindlessly. You don't delay tasks. You don't let the day control you. You control the day. That's what disciplined people do. They live on purpose. They don't waste their time. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They move now, and here's something you need to understand deeply. Discipline is not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters consistently. Anyone can be busy. Anyone can fill their day with tasks, but the disciplined person focuses on the few actions that lead to real growth. They don't chase everything. They choose the essential and do it well. Discipline brings clarity. It removes chaos. It teaches you to prioritize. It makes your actions sharp and focused. Discipline also builds resilience. When you push yourself daily, you become mentally tougher. When you do the hard things every day, life's challenges stop scaring you. You develop grit. You develop patience. You develop the strength to keep going when most people would quit. That kind of resilience is rare, but it's available to anyone willing to earn it. And you earn it by showing up daily, by doing the uncomfortable, by doing the unglamorous, over and over. People look for secrets. There is no secret, just repeated hard effort, just choosing to do the right thing when the wrong thing feels easier, just facing the resistance and not backing down, just choosing growth over comfort every single day. That's the formula, and it works, not just for the rich, not just for the talented, but for anyone who decides to take full responsibility for their life. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the smartest. You just have to keep showing up. You have to keep getting better. You have to stay honest with yourself. You have to admit when you're slipping and get back on track immediately. Discipline isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. It's about having the humility to correct yourself fast and keep moving forward. Every morning is a new chance, a new opportunity to strengthen your discipline, a new opportunity to prove to yourself that you are serious about your life. Don't waste that chance. Don't sleepwalk through your day. Don't live the same year 70 times and call it a life. Step up, take control, build the kind of discipline that reshapes everything, not in a week, not in a month, but over time, day by day. And understand this. Discipline doesn't take away your freedom, it creates it. When you are disciplined, you have more control over your time, you have more energy, you have more peace. You're not pulled in every direction, you're not living in regret, you're not falling behind, you are ahead, you are focused, you are building something meaningful. That is true freedom, and it comes through discipline. Discipline also gives you pride, the good kind, the kind that comes from knowing you are doing the work, from knowing you are not lying to yourself, from knowing that you are earning your progress. That pride can't be bought, it can't be given, it can only be earned, and the more you earn it, the more you begin to respect yourself. And self-respect is one of the most powerful forces in a person's life, because once you respect yourself, you stop tolerating what weakens you. You stop settling for average. You start expecting more from yourself, and you deliver on that expectation. The process will test you. It will ask you to become someone you're not yet, and that's exactly why it works. Discipline transforms you, not just your habits, not just your routine, but your identity. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who does. You stop being someone who wishes. You become someone who works. You stop being someone who blames. You become someone who builds. And that's the goal. To build, to grow, to become better every single day through effort, through action, through discipline. That's the way forward. Not with grand gestures, but with quiet, steady effort. Over time, until the life you want is no longer a dream. It's real. It's yours, and it was earned. Brick by brick. Day by day. You don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to begin. Now, start where you are, with what you have, and build. Do something hard today. Do it again tomorrow, and the next day. And don't stop. That's how discipline is born. That's how your life changes. That's how you become unstoppable. Discipline is the difference between a life of regret and a life of fulfillment, between staying stuck and rising up, between watching others succeed and creating your own success. It's the foundation of everything good, and it's available to you if you are willing to work for it. So start today. Do the hard thing. Do it without needing to feel ready. Do it even if it's small. Do it because your future depends on it. Do it because you deserve a life built on strength and clarity, not excuses and comfort. You are capable of more, and the way to prove it is through discipline. You only get one life. Build it with discipline, and do it through daily consistent hard actions. Not someday, not when it feels easier, but now, every single day. Keep going, keep building, stay strong, stay committed. That is how you become who you were meant to be. Chapter 2. Eliminate every excuse that blocks your daily progress. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. They sound reasonable in the moment, but they are the walls we build between where we are and where we want to be. Progress demands honesty, and excuses are the opposite of honesty. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment your real growth begins. If you want to move forward in life, you must face the truth that no excuse ever moved anyone ahead. Excuses protect weakness, delay action, and destroy momentum. Every time you choose an excuse, you hand your power away. You decide that the situation controls you. You decide that external things are stronger than your will. But progress starts when you stop giving your power away. It starts when you say, I am responsible for what happens next. Not your past. Not your parents. Not your schedule. Not your problems. Just you. That mindset separates people who stay stuck from people who rise. You cannot grow while clinging to your excuses. Excuses come in many forms. I don't have time. I'm too tired. It's not the right moment. I'll do it later. I'm not ready. These statements feel safe. They give us a way out. But the truth is, they steal from us. They steal opportunity. They steal progress. They steal time we will never get back. Every excuse is a step backward. And every excuse adds weight to a life that's already heavy. The more you lean on them, the harder it becomes to stand on your own feet. You must build the habit of catching excuses before they take over. That starts with awareness. Pay attention to the words you say when faced with something hard. Notice the stories you tell yourself when you want to avoid discomfort. Listen carefully to your own thoughts. You will find that most of your reasons are really just fears. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, but fear only grows when you run from it. Face it, and it shrinks. The only way to defeat excuses is to replace them with responsibility. Take full control of what you do, what you say, and how you respond. No more blaming circumstances. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more giving up before you even try. Progress belongs to those who own everything. Even the mistakes. Even the setbacks. Even the days they fall short. Because the person who owns their life can change their life. If something is important to you, you will find a way to do it. If not, you will find an excuse. This is the hard truth, but truth is necessary. If you want to break free, you must be brutally honest with yourself. Stop pretending you don't have time when you spend hours scrolling. Stop pretending you can't start because you don't have everything figured out. Start with what you have. Do what you can. That's enough. And once you do, you'll realize you never needed an excuse. You just needed a decision. Excuses are comfortable. They let you off the hook, but they also trap you in the same place. The people who make real progress are not the ones with perfect plans. They are the ones who refuse to make excuses. They get up earlier. They stay focused longer. They keep going when things are inconvenient. They don't need someone to push them. They are moved by their purpose, and their purpose is bigger than their comfort. You need to develop a new relationship with difficulty. Stop avoiding it. Stop resenting it. Welcome it. Difficulty is not your enemy. It is your path to strength. Every time you overcome something hard, you become more powerful. But if you avoid every challenge, you stay weak. That's the danger of excuses. They convince you that weakness is acceptable, but it's not. Not if you want to grow, not if you want to live with purpose. You have to stop negotiating with your weakness. Stop justifying why today isn't the day. Stop explaining why you can't do what needs to be done. If you're tired, do it tired. If it's late, do it anyway. If it's hard, do it harder. That's how you eliminate excuses. Not by thinking about them, not by analyzing them, by acting anyway. Action destroys excuses. Action replaces doubt with progress. Action is the proof of commitment. And yes, life is busy, life is hard, but it's hard for everyone. The difference is how you respond to that difficulty. Will you rise or will you retreat? Will you make moves or make excuses? Will you build discipline or build regret? The choice is always yours, and it's a choice you make every single day, not once. Every morning, every time you want to hit snooze, every time you want to quit early, every time you want to delay. Those are the moments where you decide what kind of life you're building. Excuses sound convincing when you're tired. They sound logical when you're scared. They feel justified when you've been hurt. But feeling something doesn't make it true. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it deserves your attention. Learn to challenge your excuses. Question them. Break them down. Ask yourself, is this true or is this just easier to believe? That kind of inner confrontation builds strength, and strength leads to progress. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires honesty. If you're not doing the work, admit it. If you're falling behind, own it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't wrap it in a story. Just face it. When you stop lying to yourself, you start freeing yourself. And freedom from excuses is the beginning of growth. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are simply at a crossroads. The old road is filled with the same excuses you've always used. The new road requires more from you, but it leads somewhere better. Choose the path that demands more, not because it's easy, but because you deserve more. You deserve to see what happens when you stop holding yourself back. You deserve to feel proud at the end of each day, because you showed up fully. You deserve to wake up without regret. But none of that comes from comfort. It comes from discipline, from action, from saying no to the excuses that used to run your life. You don't need a new schedule. You need a new level of responsibility. You don't need better conditions. You need a better mindset. You don't need more hours. You need more focus. And focus comes when you remove the stories that distract you. When you stop making excuses for why it can't be done and start finding reasons why it must be done. The life you want is on the other side of your excuses. It's on the other side of your doubts. It's on the other side of every delay and distraction you've allowed. You don't have to get it all right today, but you do have to stop running from the work. You do have to stop giving in to weakness. You do have to start holding yourself to a higher standard, because no one is coming to save you from your excuses. No one can do the work for you. No one can build your habits. No one can force you to grow. This is your responsibility, and that is a gift, because if it's yours, then it's in your control. You can change it. You can improve it. You can rewrite your future one decision at a time. Make today the day you stop hiding behind reasons. Make today the day you break free from the cycle of waiting. Make today the day you take ownership of your life, because every excuse you drop is a chain you break, and every time you choose action over avoidance, you step into your power. Progress is not out of reach. It's waiting for you to stop making excuses and start moving forward, one real choice at a time. Chapter 3. Create a clear goal and pursue it every day. A clear goal gives your actions purpose. Without one, you drift. You wake up and go through the day reacting instead of directing. You spend energy but move in circles. Time passes but nothing meaningful changes. Progress starts when you decide exactly what you want. Not in vague terms, not someday, not one day. You decide in plain, specific, measurable terms. Until then, you're just busy without direction. You're working hard but not getting anywhere that matters. Setting a clear goal is not about writing a fancy statement. It's about understanding what matters most to you and turning it into a target you pursue without distraction. A goal is not a wish. It's not something you hope happens. It's something you commit to achieving. It's a line in the sand that says, "This is where I'm going, and I won't stop until I get there." When your mind is focused on a clear outcome, everything changes. Your time becomes more valuable. Your choices become sharper. Your distractions lose their power. You must decide what you truly want. Not what looks good, not what others have guessed, not what sounds nice, but what deeply matters to you. This requires honesty. You must get quiet and think about what kind of life you want to build. It might not match what you've been doing. It might not be safe. It might not please everyone, but if it matters to you, that's enough. That's the foundation you build on. Because a clear goal rooted in personal truth has power. It gives you fuel. It gives you reason to push when things get hard. Once your goal is clear, the next step is simple. Show up for it daily. Not once in a while. Not only when it feels exciting. Every day. Small steps count. Imperfect efforts count. What matters is consistency. The goal doesn't care how you feel. The goal doesn't care about obstacles. The goal rewards the person who keeps showing up. Progress comes from repeating the right actions over time, not from one burst of effort. You move forward by making your goal the center of your focus. Write your goal down, keep it visible, let it guide your schedule, your priorities, your energy. When you know what you want, you stop wasting time on things that don't move you closer. You stop chasing distractions. You stop saying yes to every request. You begin protecting your time and attention, and that protection is what allows your goal to grow, because your daily actions are either feeding your goal or feeding your delay. There is no middle ground. Don't worry if your goal seems far away. That's not the problem. The problem is not having a clear path to walk. Once your goal is defined, your job is to break it down into action, not vague plans. Specific, repeatable actions you can take daily. If you want to build strength, you train. If you want to master a skill, you practice. If you want to earn more, you provide more value. Every goal, no matter how big, breaks down into small steps, and when those steps are done daily, progress becomes automatic. Clarity brings calm. You're no longer pulled in 20 directions. You stop questioning what to do. You don't waste energy second-guessing your path. You focus. You execute. You adjust only when needed. That stability creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. Each day you follow through, you feel stronger. Each day you make progress, your belief grows. That belief is built by action, not by hoping. You earn the right to believe in your future by doing what your future demands today. You will face challenges. That's guaranteed. But when your goal is clear, challenges don't shake you. You adapt and keep moving. You might have to slow down, but you don't stop. You might get off track, but you don't stay there. Your goal becomes the compass that brings you back. Without that compass, you wander. With it, you course correct fast. That's why clarity is power. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you focused. It keeps you strong. Many people give up not because the goal is too hard, but because the goal was never clearly defined. If you don't know what winning looks like, how can you know if you're moving forward? You need to set markers. You need to measure progress. You need to celebrate the small steps that prove you're heading the right way. These moments of progress build fire. They remind you that your effort matters, that every hour you invest is creating something real. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You need to stay committed. Your commitment is proven by how you show up when it's boring, when it's repetitive, when it's not exciting. That's when most people stop. But that's also when real transformation happens. Your identity begins to shift. You become someone who follows through, someone who finishes what they start, someone who creates results instead of collecting plans. Distractions will come. Doubts will whisper. You will feel tempted to take it easy, to skip a day, to try something new instead of finishing what you started. That's when you need to reconnect with your goal. Remind yourself why it matters. Remind yourself what life will look like when you achieve it. And more importantly, remind yourself who you will become by staying the course. Because growth is not just about reaching goals. It's about becoming someone stronger through the process. If you've spent years being unclear, if you've been jumping from one idea to another, don't judge yourself, just decide to be clear now. Draw the line, say this is my goal, say it with strength. Make it non-negotiable. Then start moving. One step at a time. Don't wait for motivation. It will come after action. Don't worry about setbacks. They are part of the process. Don't compare your progress to anyone else. Stay focused on your lane, because real achievement comes from persistence, not perfection. Your goal is not a dream. It's a plan, and a plan lives in your calendar. It lives in your routines. It lives in your behavior. You don't just hope for it, you work for it, you stay loyal to it, you protect it from distractions, and over time, you shape your life around it. That's what separates the people who live with purpose from the people who just exist. They know where they're going, and they move with intention every single day. The most powerful thing you can do today is commit. Define your goal in exact terms. Write it. Read it every morning. Review it every night. Ask yourself each day, what did I do to move forward? Track it. Adjust when needed. Stay honest with yourself, and never let a day go by without taking action. Because each day you honor your goal, you build a life that honors your values. You create proof. You're consistent. You begin to lead yourself. A clear goal is not a luxury. It's a requirement for growth. It focuses your effort. It protects your time. It sharpens your decision. And when pursued daily, it transforms everything. You don't need more information. You need direction. You don't need more motivation. You need a commitment. You don't need more time. You need to use the time you have with precision. It all starts when you decide what you want and choose to move toward it daily. Not perfectly, not quickly, but with unshakable consistency. That is how change begins. That is how growth becomes real. That is how you take full control of your life. Chapter 4. Track your time closely and use it with purpose. Time is the one thing you never get back. Once a moment is gone, it is gone forever. You can't rewind it, you can't pause it, and you can't ask for more. What you do with each hour determines who you become. If you waste it, you lose something permanent. But if you use it with care, you create a life that reflects intention and growth. Most people drift through their days without ever realizing how much time they are losing. They react to life instead of taking charge of it. They rush from one thing to another without ever asking, is this the best use of my time? That question can change everything. You are in control of how your time is spent, whether you realize it or not. Every moment is a choice. You are either building something meaningful, or you are letting that time slip into nothing. When you start tracking your time, you begin to see the truth. You realize how much of your life is filled with distractions that bring no value. You notice how often you reach for your phone without a reason. You become aware of the little habits that quietly steal hours from your day. This awareness is powerful because it gives you the ability to take back control. Tracking your time is not about becoming robotic. It's about becoming intentional. It's about knowing where your hours go so you can direct them toward what matters most. When you write down how you spend your day, even for 1 week, patterns begin to appear. You see what drains you. You see what drives you. You see where you say you don't have time, but waste it on things that offer nothing in return. This is not about guilt. It's about clarity. Once you're honest with how your time is used, you can begin to use it with purpose. You don't need to schedule every minute, but you do need structure. Without it, your day gets filled by whatever demands your attention in the moment. Urgent things take over. Meaningful things get pushed aside. But when you create a plan, when you know what you want to accomplish and when you'll do it, you begin to take control. You don't let others decide your priorities. You protect the blocks of time that matter. That protection is what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. Every hour is a resource. You trade your time for results. The more aware you are of that trade, the better your life becomes. Instead of saying, I didn't have time, you begin to say, I didn't choose to make it a priority. That shift in language creates responsibility. It forces you to own your decisions. And when you own your time, you own your life. You stop blaming and start building. You stop wishing and start working. It all begins by looking at time as your most valuable asset. Your habits reflect how seriously you take your time. If you say you want something but spend hours on entertainment or distractions, then you're not serious about that goal. Time is not a theory. It is a reflection of what you care about. If your day is filled with low-value tasks, don't expect high-level results. You have to align your actions with your ambitions. You have to match your goals with your schedule. If they don't line up, something has to change. Either lower the goal or raise the standard of how you use your time. The best way to start is simple. At the end of each day, write down what you did, from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to sleep. Don't skip anything. Be honest. Write down when you wasted time. Write down when you drifted. Look at your day with full truth. Then ask one question. Did today move me forward, or did I just stay busy? That question will wake you up. That question will expose what needs to change. And that question, if answered honestly every day, will transform your life. When you track your time, you also begin to value moments that used to feel small. A few minutes spent in silence, a short walk, a meaningful conversation. These things begin to matter more because you realize how rare focused quality time really is. You begin to strip away what doesn't serve you. You stop overcommitting. You stop chasing tasks that look urgent but change nothing in the long run. You begin to live with clarity. That clarity brings peace. That peace gives you the space to grow. Using time with purpose also means protecting your energy. You can't be sharp if your day is filled with interruptions. You can't be focused if you're always switching between tasks. You need deep work. You need uninterrupted blocks of time where your focus goes fully into what matters. These moments of deep effort are where real results are created. It's not about being busy all day. It's about being fully present during the hours you work. Focused time beats scattered effort every single time. Avoid multitasking. It might feel productive, but it steals your concentration. Every time you switch tasks, your brain needs time to reset. That constant switching lowers your output and increases mental fatigue. Choose one task, finish it with full attention, then move on. This single change can double your effectiveness. You get more done. You make fewer mistakes, and you feel less drained. Focus is not about having more hours, it's about doing more with the ones you have. Time management is also about saying no. You can't do everything. You can't please everyone. You can't chase every opportunity. You must choose. You must decide what matters most and cut what doesn't. Every yes is a no to something else. If you say yes to meaningless tasks, you say no to your growth. Learn to protect your schedule the same way you protect your income, because time is more valuable. You can earn back money. You can't earn back time. One of the strongest habits you can build is planning tomorrow before today ends. Don't wait until the morning. Take 5 minutes every night to set your intention. What will you focus on? What must get done? What will you avoid? Write it down. Keep it simple. Keep it realistic. When you wake up, you don't have to think. You don't have to plan. You just begin. That momentum carries into the rest of the day. And when done consistently, it creates unstoppable progress. Tracking your time also teaches discipline. It teaches you to be honest with yourself. It removes the illusion that you're doing your best when you're just staying busy. You begin to measure your effort. You begin to build integrity with yourself. You no longer let hours disappear without meaning. You respect your time, and others begin to respect it too. That discipline leads to confidence, and confidence leads to results that are earned, not hoped for. You will never feel like you have enough time. That feeling never goes away. But the truth is, you already have enough. You have the same hours as anyone who is achieving great things. The difference is in how you use them. The difference is in whether your day is run by intention or distraction. The more you pay attention, the more you take control, and that control is what builds the future you want. Don't wait to start. You don't need a perfect system. Just begin. Write down how you spend your time. Adjust what needs to change. Cut what holds you back. Focus on what moves you forward. Protect the hours that matter. Use your time like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. And the more seriously you take it, the more powerful your life becomes. Your growth depends on how you use your time. So track it. Guard it, use it with purpose, and build a life that reflects that purpose every single day. Chapter 5. Learn valuable skills that solve real daily problems. The ability to learn skills that solve real problems is what separates people who stay stuck from those who move forward. Every day brings challenges that demand action, and how prepared you are depends on what you've chosen to learn. You don't rise by chance. You rise by building ability. When you solve problems for yourself, you become independent. When you solve problems for others, you become valuable. The world rewards usefulness, not intentions. If you want your life to improve, focus on learning skills that create solutions where most people see obstacles. Real skills are practical. They create change. They make tasks easier. They save time. They increase value. They help people. They solve pain points. You do not need to master everything, but you must commit to learning things that serve a purpose. Too many people waste their energy learning things they will never use. The key is to focus your attention on what actually improves your life or the lives of others. This kind of learning is not passive. It's direct, intentional, and grounded in real-life results. Start with your current life. Look around you. What problems do you face again and again? What slows you down? What creates stress or confusion? What things take up time that could be done faster if you had the right ability? That's where your skill learning should begin. You learn not to impress. You learn to solve. If you're struggling with money, learn how money works. If your communication is weak, study how to speak clearly and listen well. If your body lacks energy, learn how to train, rest, and eat with discipline. If your work feels inefficient, learn how to plan and execute better. Every skill you build adds weight to your progress. It gives you tools to handle more, to grow faster, and to rise stronger. Learning doesn't stop at school. That kind of learning was for passing tests. This kind of learning is for building a life. You must become a student of your own needs. And you must become a builder of your own solution. No one is coming to do this for you. You must become the person who says, if something isn't working, I will figure it out. I will learn the skill. I will gain the knowledge. I will apply it until it works. You do not need to know everything to get started. You need to choose one skill that will make your life better right now. Read about it. Watch someone do it. Try it yourself. Fail a little. Adjust. Try again. Apply what works. Drop what doesn't. Stay in motion. Skills are not learned through reading alone. They are developed through action. You do the thing badly at first. You stay with it. Slowly it becomes easier. One day, it becomes part of who you are. Most people give up on learning because they expect it to feel comfortable. But real learning demands attention and patience. It stretches your thinking. It humbles you. It shows you where you're weak. But those moments are gifts. They show you exactly where to focus next. You cannot grow by avoiding discomfort. You grow by choosing to face what you do not yet understand and turning it into something you can use. You must also learn with urgency, not panic, but purpose. The world is moving fast. Tools change. Jobs shift. Expectations rise. If you are not learning, you are falling behind. The skills you avoid today may be the ones that hold you back tomorrow. Don't wait until you're forced to grow. Choose to grow before it's required. That choice gives you power. That choice puts you ahead. That choice keeps you from becoming replaceable. The most valuable people in any field are not the ones with the most credentials. They are the ones who solve real problems. That's what employers want. That's what clients pay for. That's what builds reputation. And you don't need to be the best in the world. You need to be the person who can step in and get the job done. That confidence comes from practice, not theory. That effectiveness comes from repetition, not just knowing. Every skill you gain can open doors. It can create new opportunities. It can save you from depending on others. It can free you from being stuck. The more you know how to do, the more flexible your life becomes. When others say, "I don't know how," you can say, "I've got it." That kind of ability is not about being a genius. It's about being someone who refuses to stay helpless. It's about choosing growth instead of comfort. The best part is that skill learning is unlimited. You can always add more. You can always go deeper. You can always improve. That truth should excite you. It means your potential is not fixed. It means your future is not limited by your current situation. You are not stuck. You are just not skilled enough yet. But that can change. And it starts the moment you decide to learn something useful today. Not next month. Not next year. Today. Build a habit of asking questions. Stay curious. Don't settle for not knowing. Look up the answer. Test it. Use it. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't, search further. The people who grow the fastest are not the smartest. They are the ones who stay curious. They are the ones who never stop asking, how can I do this better? That mindset builds power. That mindset separates leaders from followers. Don't worry about learning the perfect skill. Worry about learning something that solves a real issue. Focus on progress, not perfection. Focus on application, not appearance. You don't need to impress, you need to improve. The results will speak for themselves. The better you get at solving problems, the more valuable you become at work, in relationships, and in your own personal journey. The most important skill you can build is learning how to learn. If you know how to break things down, find resources, and apply knowledge, you can adapt to anything. You become resilient. You become ready for change. Life doesn't intimidate you because you know how to respond. This is how real confidence is built, not from pretending to know everything, but from knowing you can learn anything. You don't need a classroom to learn. You need discipline. You need curiosity. You need effort. You need to stop saying, I can't do that, and start saying, I can figure it out. That one sentence can change your entire mindset. Every skill you learn makes you stronger. Every time you choose to grow, you become harder to break. Every step forward gives you more control over your life. Time spent learning is never wasted. It's an investment that pays you back for the rest of your life, but only if you use what you learn. Don't collect information, turn it into action. Don't wait for someone to tell you when to start. Begin now. Your future depends on the skills you're willing to build today. Learn to solve real problems, and you will never be without value. Keep growing, keep applying, and keep turning knowledge into strength. That is how you take control of your path and rise above limitation. Chapter 6. Protect your energy by avoiding weak daily habits. Your energy is the foundation of your daily performance. If it's weak, your focus slips, your patience runs thin, and your ability to follow through crumbles. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more power in the hours you already have. That power doesn't come from shortcuts or sudden motivation. It comes from the habits you choose every single day. Strong habits build energy. Weak habits drain it. You cannot expect to be sharp, clear, and productive if you spend your days practicing behaviors that weaken your body, your mind, or your discipline. Weak daily habits often feel harmless. They're easy to overlook because they're small, casual, and accepted by most people around you. Scrolling endlessly, sleeping late for no reason, eating without care, saying yes to things that don't matter, talking too much about problems instead of solving them. These patterns feel normal, but they quietly erode your strength. They leave you scattered, reactive, and tired for no good reason. Over time, they stack up and pull you away from your goals without you even realizing it. Protecting your energy means guarding it the way you would guard something precious, because it is. Your energy is your ability to show up fully. It's your presence, your attention, your sharpness, your self-control. When it's strong, you move through the day with clarity and action. When it's low, you hesitate, overthink, and avoid challenges. This is not about perfection. It's about being intentional with what you allow into your life and what you allow to shape your mind. One of the most common weak habits is starting the day with chaos, waking up late, checking your phone, diving straight into noise before you've even centered yourself. That choice sets a tone of disorder. It drains you before you've even begun. You need to start your day with control. Wake up with a clear purpose. Begin with silence, clarity, movement, or reflection. Build a habit of beginning strong so the rest of your day follows. If the first hour of your day belongs to distraction, don't expect the rest of your day to feel powerful. Another habit that weakens energy is staying connected to low-quality conversations. Spending too much time around gossip, negativity, mindless opinions, or people who drain your focus will weigh you down. It doesn't always look harmful at first, but the impact is real. Your mental energy is limited. If you spend it arguing, complaining, or chasing attention, you have little left for what matters. Protect your environment. Choose who gets your time. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. You must also watch how you handle food, rest, and movement. Your physical energy fuels your mental power. Poor sleep, junk food, and sitting for long hours weaken your ability to think clearly and act consistently. Strong energy comes from simple disciplines: consistent sleep, clean fuel, regular movement. These don't need to be extreme, they need to be consistent. The stronger your body, the more control you have over your choices. When you feel good physically, you are more likely to follow through mentally. One of the hardest habits to break is the habit of distraction. Constant switching between tasks, checking messages, jumping from one thing to the next without finishing anything. This habit might feel productive, but it's draining. Your focus is a limited resource. If you waste it on meaningless switching, your brain never gets the space to go deep. Protect your focus by creating space. Turn off notifications. Finish one task before starting another. Block out time for thinking and working without interruption. That one shift can protect hours of wasted energy every day. Weak habits also show up in how you talk to yourself. Complaining in your own mind, doubting yourself constantly, replaying mistakes, talking yourself out of taking action. This inner dialogue steals your strength before you even move. You must develop a habit of speaking to yourself with clarity, not with weakness. Talk with direction. Ask real questions. Focus on solutions. Speak like someone who wants to lead their life, not escape from it. That shift in mental language shapes how you respond to pressure and challenge. Energy is also lost when you keep unfinished tasks open. Every time you leave something half done, every time you delay what you know you need to do, it adds a silent weight to your mind. You carry the burden of avoidance. Start small, but start finishing. Close the loop. Finish what you start. The act of completion builds momentum. It frees your mind and renews your focus. Don't let your days fill up with half-built plans. Build the habit of closing, not just starting. You need to create boundaries with your time and constant news, social media, entertainment, and online noise can all seem harmless, but they flood your mind and make it harder to think clearly. Strong energy needs space. Give yourself silence each day. Give yourself time away from screen. Give yourself room to think without constant stimulation. Most people are tired not because they've worked too hard, but because they've consumed too much noise. Clear space in your life and you'll find your energy rises without any magic solution. Another weak habit is saying yes to too many things. Overcommitting to people, tasks, or responsibilities that don't align with your priorities spreads your energy thin. You must learn the habit of saying no without guilt. Not every invitation needs your presence. Not every opportunity is worth chasing. Not every problem needs your attention. Protecting your energy means choosing where it goes. Say yes with clarity. Say no with strength. Every decision either drains or strengthens you. Energy is also protected by clarity. If you go through the day unclear about what you want, you will waste energy trying to decide, worrying about outcomes, and bouncing between ideas. Clarity is a discipline. Each day, write down what matters most. Choose 3 things to focus on. Don't try to do everything, do what matters, and do it well. That single habit can eliminate mental exhaustion. Your mind doesn't need endless choice, it needs direction. Avoid the habit of overthinking. It feels productive, but leads to paralysis. You don't need to have everything figured out to begin. Most of your clarity will come through action, not sitting around trying to plan every detail. Take a small step, adjust as you go, but act. Overthinking kills energy by keeping you stuck in fear. Movement restores energy by giving your mind proof that progress is possible. Trust action more than theory. Trust experience more than fear. To protect your energy, you must also protect your beliefs. Believing you're too late, too behind, not ready or not capable, those beliefs become habits if you repeat them daily. Your energy is shaped by your mindset. Believe in small steps. Believe in effort. Believe in the value of showing up. Don't feed your mind with weakness disguised as truth. You can get stronger. You can build habits. You can protect your energy by refusing to entertain beliefs that don't support your growth. Every strong day is built on small choices. Going to bed on time instead of watching one more video. Preparing your day instead of winging it. Moving your body instead of staying stuck. Saying no instead of pleasing everyone. These don't seem dramatic, but they build resilience. They train you to take control. They prove to you that you can lead your life with discipline instead of following your impulses. There is no mystery to energy. You either protect it or you waste it. You either build habits that support it or allow habits that weaken it. Each day is a test of what you'll tolerate. Will you tolerate habits that drain you, distract you, slow you down, or will you build the strength to cut them and replace them with ones that feed your focus, restore your clarity, and sharpen your edge? The choice is yours, and the result is your life. Strong energy is not a gift. It is earned through consistent discipline and daily choices that protect what matters most. Chapter 7: Invest in yourself with books, learning, and new actions. Your growth depends on what you feed your mind and how you act on it. If you want your life to get better, you must first get better yourself. That doesn't happen by chance. It happens when you choose to invest in yourself through learning and applying what you learn. Every book you read, every new concept you study, every step you take beyond what's comfortable, these are the investments that shape your future. You cannot expect new results with the same level of thinking. You cannot expect change if you are not changing how you think and what you do. Growth requires new input and bold execution. Books are tools. They give you access to years of someone else's experience and wisdom in a few hours. Reading isn't just about collecting information. It's about gaining insight you can act on. When you read with purpose, you begin to see patterns. You learn how others overcame challenges. You absorb mental models that help you make smarter decisions. But it doesn't stop with reading. You must apply. You must take what you've read and put it to work in your daily life. That's when knowledge becomes power, when it moves beyond ideas and becomes action. People who grow continuously are people who never stop learning. They don't read for entertainment. They read to become sharper. They study to build strength in the areas where they're weak. They look at life with the mindset of a student. They ask questions. They seek answers. They don't pretend to know everything. They're hungry to understand more. And that hunger pushes them forward while others stay stagnant. Reading alone is not enough. You must act. You must combine learning with doing. A book on discipline is useless if you don't wake up and apply it. A book on habits won't change you unless you implement its steps daily. A book on leadership won't make you a leader until you lead with courage. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is often filled with books you haven't read and actions you haven't taken. The formula is simple: read, reflect, act, repeat. The people who grow faster than others don't wait to feel ready. They read something that matters, then they go out and test it. They try, they fail, they adjust, they repeat. Action builds understanding. Experience sharpens knowledge. You cannot think your way into a better life. You must move. You must risk small failures so you can grow into a stronger version of yourself. That process starts the moment you decide to feed your mind and stretch your limits. Investing in yourself also means you stop wasting time on useless input. You become selective with what you consume. You avoid low-quality content that entertains but does not improve. You turn away from shallow distractions and turn toward deep, useful ideas. You protect your attention. You treat it like the asset it is, because what enters your mind shapes how you think, and how you think shapes how you act. If you want to live with clarity and strength, your mind must be fueled by clarity and strength. It also means learning in ways beyond books, courses, mentors, feedback, challenges, failures. These are all part of your education. Every new action you take teaches you something. If you're paying attention, you learn how you respond under pressure. You discover where you fall short. You see what habits hold you back. You become aware of your limits, and that awareness becomes fuel for growth. When you know what needs to change, you can build the skills that make change possible. You cannot wait for perfect timing to begin learning. You make time. Even 10 minutes of reading or listening to something useful daily compounds. One idea can shift your mindset. One sentence can change your day. One strategy can remove a problem you've struggled with for years. The return on learning is massive, but only if you stay consistent. You cannot expect one book to change everything, but 50 good books over 2 years. That will transform how you think, live, work, and grow. New actions are equally important. You don't grow by thinking about goals. You grow by moving toward them. Learning is your foundation, but action is your test. It shows you what's real. It sharpens your skills. It humbles you. It reminds you that progress is earned. Every time you try something new, you expand your ability. You become more useful. You become more confident. You become more adaptable. The more actions you take, the faster you learn, the clearer your path becomes. Stop waiting for permission to improve. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. Take control of your growth. Build your personal library. Make reading a daily ritual. Start with what's most urgent in your life. Struggling with mindset? Read about discipline, stoicism, and emotional control. Stuck financially? Read about money, service, value creation. Lacking structure? Read about habits, planning, and productivity. Then act, then measure, then refine. Growth is not something that happens to you. It's something you create through your daily input and effort. It doesn't come through sudden breakthroughs. It comes through steady learning and repeated action. You stack good days. You build strong habits. You learn something, then live it. You stop being passive. You stop watching others succeed while you stay the same. You stop making excuses. You start building yourself. Your life will not get better by accident. It will get better because you made yourself better. That begins with a simple commitment. I will feed my mind with good ideas. I will act on those ideas. I will test what works. I will discard what doesn't. I will keep learning. I will keep building. I will keep taking action even when I feel uncertain. This is the mindset of someone who invests in themselves. Not with money first, but with time, focus, and effort. Nobody can do the learning for you. Nobody can take the steps for you, but once you take responsibility for your development, no one can stop you. You stop being average the moment you stop living like everyone else. Most people avoid books. Most people avoid effort. Most people want change without learning. That's not who you are. You've decided that growth is your duty. You've decided that your mind and actions are worth investing in. The more you invest in yourself, the more life opens up to you. You see new options. You make better decisions. You handle pressure with strength. You speak with clarity. You lead with confidence. You earn trust. You solve problems. You build momentum. You become the type of person who gets things done. Not just for yourself, but for others as well. That kind of value cannot be faked. It must be built, and it's built through the quiet, daily practice of reading what matters and doing what matters. Every person who changed their life started by changing how they think. Every great leader, every high performer, every resilient individual, each one invested heavily in themselves before anyone else believed in them. They studied, they listened, they acted, they failed, they got back up, they improved. And that cycle never stopped, because real winners never outgrow learning. They keep seeking truth. They keep chasing growth. They know that who they become depends on what they learn and how they live it out daily. So today, you decide to no longer be passive with your time. You decide to choose books that strengthen your mind. You decide to take actions that build your future. You decide to be the one who invests, not just in things, but in yourself. And every day, you repeat that decision. You create a future that reflects strength, clarity, discipline, and progress. No one can take that away from you, and no one can give it to you. It's earned, built, and chosen every single day. Chapter 8. Surround yourself with people who live with purpose. The people you spend time with shape the direction of your life more than you realize. You can have the right goals, strong habits, and clear plans, but if you're surrounded by individuals who live without intention, their energy will pull you backward. Purpose is powerful. It influences mindset, choices, and standards. When you're around people who live with intention, who make decisions based on what truly matters to them, you start to adopt the same focus. They don't let time slip by unnoticed. They move through life with clarity and discipline. Their presence forces you to think deeper, act wiser, and push harder. Being around people who live with purpose doesn't mean they're perfect. It means they're committed. They make daily decisions that match their long-term values. They don't chase approval. They don't waste time trying to impress anyone. They wake up each day with a sense of direction, and they build their lives based on effort, not emotion. When you spend time with people like that, you begin to raise your own standards. You become more aware of how you think, how you speak, and how you move through the day. You feel challenged, not because they demand it, but because their example makes you realize what you've been tolerating in yourself. Most people drift. They go wherever life takes them. They blame the outside world for everything they lack. They wait for motivation, they complain about effort, and they surround themselves with others who confirm that staying average is acceptable. That environment is comfortable, but it kills growth. It teaches you to settle. It makes excuses feel normal. If you want to grow into someone who lives with focus, strength, and resilience, you need people around you who already live that way, or are fighting to. Not perfect people, not loud people, focused people, disciplined people, people who are building something real with their time and energy. You don't need many. Even one person living with purpose can shift your entire mindset. Their actions speak louder than motivation. Their discipline exposes your excuses. Their humility reminds you what matters. You begin to absorb their strength by watching how they respond to difficulty. You learn how to handle pressure, how to stay calm, how to stay focused. Purposeful people don't waste their time. They don't gossip. They don't talk about what they'll do someday. They live it, and they make you want to do the same. Take a look at your current circle. Who around you is really living with purpose? Who challenges you to do better, not by forcing you but by the way they show up for their own life? Who makes you feel more focused, more awake, more aware after spending time with them? Now, who drains you? Who talks about problems but never takes action? Who makes you feel smaller, lazier, or more distracted just by how they carry themselves? The answers are often clear, but most people avoid them. They don't want to admit that some relationships keep them stuck. But if you don't face the truth, you can't grow beyond it. You're not being rude by creating distance from people who don't want to grow. You're being responsible. You're not judging others. You're protecting your path. If someone isn't committed to becoming better, that's their choice. But it doesn't need to affect yours. You can still care for them without letting their energy shape your future. Growth demands that you take responsibility for your environment. The people you talk to, listen to, and learn from influence your thoughts, even when you don't notice, and your thoughts shape your actions. That's why your circle matters more than you think. When you begin to change your environment, you'll feel it. Conversations shift, priorities shift. Instead of talking about distractions, you talk about goals. Instead of complaining, you solve. Instead of wasting time, you use it. This doesn't mean you need to be intense all the time, but it does mean you stay honest. You recognize when you're slipping. You notice when your time is being drained. You stay grounded in what matters most. That mindset can't grow in a place of comfort. It needs people who live it. Start seeking people who are intentional. You'll recognize them not by their words, but by how they live. They show up early. They keep promises. They're consistent. They don't need attention to stay motivated. They work in silence. They think deeply. They hold themselves to a standard even when no one is watching. When you find those people, learn from them. Observe them. Ask questions. Offer value. Don't compete. Connect. When you respect their journey, you become someone they respect too. If you can't find those people in your daily life yet, start with books, talks, and mentors from a distance. You don't need permission to learn from someone. You can study how they think, how they operate, how they solve problems. Surrounding yourself with purpose starts with what you consume. Your time, your attention, your energy. They all tell you what you value. If you spend hours listening to noise, don't be surprised if your mind feels heavy and unfocused. If you spend time absorbing clarity, you'll start to move with it too. The more you surround yourself with purpose, the more uncomfortable average feels. You won't be able to tolerate weak effort anymore. You won't enjoy shallow conversations. You won't be satisfied with waiting, drifting, or hoping. You'll start moving. You'll start building. You'll start respecting your time because you see how others respect theirs. And that shift will show up in your results, your mindset, and your daily decisions. Purpose is contagious. When you're around it, you start to feel it. It wakes something up inside you. It reminds you that life isn't about comfort or approval. It's about meaning. It's about contribution. It's about doing what matters even when it's hard. You begin to live differently. You focus on growth. You become more consistent. You stop needing external praise. Your life becomes driven from within. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you are when you're aligned with your values. Purposeful people help you return to that. They remind you of your own strength, your own discipline, your own potential. You don't lose yourself in their presence. You find yourself because they don't want followers. They want allies. They want people who are also fighting for something real. The people you surround yourself with either raise you or keep you small. They either remind you of your standards or convince you to lower them. They either help you stay sharp or let you grow dull. Your environment isn't neutral. Every relationship is either adding to your purpose or pulling you away from it. Choose the ones that align with the life you're building. Protect your time. Protect your focus. Protect your energy. Living with purpose is hard. It requires daily effort, but it becomes easier when you're not doing it alone. When the people around you are on the same path, you feel supported, you feel understood, you feel pushed. That's the kind of support that builds real change. Not comfort, but accountability. Not ease, but clarity. Not distractions, but direction. That kind of environment builds results, and it begins with a simple choice. Choose people who are living with purpose and commit to doing the same every single day. Chapter 9. Control your emotions and respond with calm strength. Always. Emotions are powerful forces that shape every decision and action you take. They can drive you forward or pull you down. When you learn to control your emotions, instead of letting them control you, you gain a strength few possess. That strength is not about suppressing feelings or pretending to be unaffected. It is about understanding what you feel, why you feel it, and choosing how to respond deliberately. Responding with calm strength means you do not react impulsively. You pause, assess, and then act with purpose. This skill transforms your life because it frees you from being a slave to mood swings, external events, or sudden stress. Every moment does not require an emotional response. Most people think feeling strongly means they must show it immediately. That is a trap. Emotions are signals, not commands. They tell you something is happening inside. You can acknowledge them without acting on them right away. The space between feeling and reaction is where your power lives. In that space, you decide whether to respond in a way that helps you or harms you. This is the foundation of emotional mastery. Strong people do not ignore their emotions. They do not deny what they feel. Instead, they face their emotions with honesty and curiosity. They ask, "What is this telling me? What is underneath this feeling?" Maybe anger is a sign that something important is being threatened. Maybe frustration means a boundary is crossed. Maybe sadness shows a loss that needs attention. Recognizing the message behind the emotion allows you to respond with clarity instead of chaos. Calm strength comes from training your mind to stay steady under pressure. This is not a trait you're born with. It is a discipline you develop over time. It starts with simple habits, like breathing deeply when stress hits. It grows as you practice stepping back from the noise inside your head. Meditation, journaling, and self-reflection are tools to build that habit. These practices do not remove emotions, they change your relationship with them. They help you see emotions as temporary and manageable rather than overwhelming and permanent. When emotions rise, the body reacts first. Heart races, muscles tighten, thoughts spiral. That physical response can trigger automatic reactions that create problems. You can stop this cycle by becoming aware of your body's signals. When you feel tension, pause, take slow breath, ground yourself in the present moment. This simple action interrupts the fight or flight reaction and gives you a chance to choose a better response. Over time, this awareness becomes automatic. You no longer get swept away by every emotional wave. Responding with calm strength also means refusing to give others power over your mood. People will push your buttons intentionally or unintentionally. The difference between losing control and keeping calm is the choice you make in that moment. When you keep your composure, you remain in control of the situation. When you react emotionally, you give away your power and create chaos. Calm responses build respect. Emotional outbursts destroy it. It's important to understand that calm strength does not mean passivity or silence. Sometimes the strongest response is setting clear boundaries, speaking firmly, or walking away. Strength shows itself in the ability to say no to distractions and yes to focus. Strength is visible when you choose to engage with difficult conversations thoughtfully rather than with heat. You hold space for others without losing yourself. You listen without needing to immediately fix or judge. That kind of presence changes how others respond to you and improves every relationship. Practice is key. Start by noticing your emotional triggers. Which situations make you lose calm most often? What thoughts run through your mind when you feel overwhelmed? Write them down. Awareness helps you prepare. When the next challenge comes, remind yourself that feelings are temporary and you have control over your response. Test small moments of control during your day. When a minor annoyance arises, practice breathing and choosing calm words. These small victories build resilience. Emotional control also requires forgiving yourself when you fail. Nobody is perfect. There will be times when anger or frustration spills over. The difference is what you do next. Learn from the experience. Reflect on what you could do differently. Then try again. Growth happens when you persist with patience and self-compassion. You become stronger each time you choose calm over chaos. You can also build calm strength by focusing on what you can control. Many emotions come from worrying about things beyond your influence. Redirect your energy to actions you can take right now. Taking responsibility for your choices reduces fear and anxiety. It centers your mind on solutions instead of problems. That shift strengthens your emotional foundation. Another important part is setting daily rituals that support emotional balance. Sleep, nutrition, exercise and quiet time all impact how well you regulate feelings. When your body is healthy and your mind rested, emotions are easier to manage. Neglecting these basics makes emotional control more difficult. Strong people prioritize their health because they know it fuels mental strength. Responding with calm strength also shapes your identity. When you consistently choose to act thoughtfully, you begin to see yourself as someone who is reliable and steady. This identity builds confidence. Stop doubting your ability to handle stress because you have proof from experience. Confidence under pressure is one of the most valuable traits you can develop. It opens doors in your personal and professional life that raw emotion often closes. When you control your emotions, you think clearer. You make better decisions. You communicate more effectively. You stay focused on your goals. You handle setbacks without falling apart. You inspire trust in others. People want to work with you and support you because you don't add unnecessary drama. You become a force for stability and progress in any environment. In challenging situations, calm strength is your anchor. While others panic, you find solutions. While others blame, you take responsibility. While others react, you respond. This difference separates leaders from followers. It separates those who succeed from those who falter. Your ability to maintain calm under pressure is a skill worth mastering, because life will always test you. The test is how you choose to meet it. Building emotional control requires patience, persistence, and self-awareness. It won't happen overnight, but every effort counts. Each time you pause instead of reacting, each time you choose calm words over angry ones, you are training a muscle. Over time, that muscle grows strong. It changes your life quietly, but powerfully. You can decide today to stop being ruled by sudden emotions. You can decide to be the person who responds with calm strength, no matter the challenge. You can build a mindset that sees emotions as tools for insight, rather than chains for control. This choice will make you more effective, more respected, and more at peace. The strength you build from within becomes the foundation for everything else you want to achieve. Your emotions are part of you, but they don't have to be in charge. You have the ability to lead your inner world as well as your outer one. That leadership starts with awareness and grows with practice. Step by step, moment by moment, you can master the art of calm strength, and when you do, nothing will shake your progress or steal your peace. Chapter 10. Take massive action daily, even when you feel tired. Taking massive action every day, regardless of how tired you feel, separates those who succeed from those who only dream. Fatigue is a natural part of pushing towards something meaningful, but it must never become an excuse to stop moving forward. Energy levels fluctuate, motivation wanes. The difference lies in your ability to push beyond temporary discomfort and commit to consistent effort. When you train yourself to act even when your body protests, you build a resilience that no setback can break. This resilience compounds into momentum, and momentum leads to results. The reality is that waiting for perfect conditions or ideal energy is a trap. Success doesn't wait for your mood to improve. It demands persistence, discipline, and grit. When you feel tired, that is precisely the moment to show strength. Massive action means doing more than the minimum. It means going beyond what feels comfortable or easy. It means focusing on progress rather than perfection. Even small steps taken relentlessly create massive impact over time. The power is in consistency, not just bursts of energy. Taking action despite tiredness requires training your mind to override excuses. Your body will always seek rest, but your mind must decide when rest is necessary and when it is avoidance. Distinguishing between genuine rest and giving up is key. Genuine rest restores energy so you can return stronger. Avoidance delays growth and builds regret. When you push past tiredness, you prove to yourself that your commitment is stronger than your fatigue. That belief fuels every future effort. When you act in a tired state, you strengthen mental toughness. You learn that discomfort is temporary and manageable. You train yourself to focus on what's possible instead of what's difficult. This mindset shift is a game changer. It rewires your brain to expect challenge instead of avoiding it. The more you practice massive action under fatigue, the less power tiredness has over your decision. Your mind becomes the leader, not your feelings. It is important to prepare your body and mind to sustain this level of effort. Proper nutrition, hydration, sleep, and movement lay the foundation. But beyond physical preparation, you build stamina by setting clear priority. Know exactly what must be done each day. Focus on high-impact tasks that drive progress. Avoid wasting energy on trivial distractions. Massive action requires purposeful focus. You cannot act massively if you scatter your effort. One practical approach is to break overwhelming tasks into smaller pieces. When you feel tired, the idea of completing large projects can feel impossible. But if you commit to just one small action, you keep momentum alive. That one small action often leads to another. Before you know it, you've done more than you expected. Massive action is built on these small, consistent choices that accumulate. The key is to start, no matter how little energy you have. Another powerful strategy is to create routines that automate action. When effort becomes habit, it requires less willpower. Habits move you forward even on days when motivation is absent. Routines reduce decision fatigue. They create predictable paths to progress. Investing time in building strong routines protects you from burnout and keeps your momentum intact. Massive action becomes easier when it's part of your daily rhythm. Accountability is another critical factor. Sharing your goals with someone who expects updates helps you stay committed. When you know others are watching, you are less likely to quit. Accountability partners push you to act even when you want to rest. This external pressure can be the difference between giving in to tiredness and pushing through. Find someone who believes in your potential and hold each other to high standards. It's essential to manage your mindset about tiredness itself. Instead of seeing it as a signal to stop, reframe it as a sign you are growing. Feeling tired means you are stretching beyond comfort. Growth lives in that uncomfortable space. When you embrace fatigue as a natural part of progress, you remove the power it has to discourage you. You develop a sense of pride in your persistence. That pride fuels your will to continue. Self-compassion also plays a role. Massive action does not mean ignoring your body completely. It means balancing effort with smart rest. Recognize when you genuinely need to recover and allow yourself that time without guilt. Then return to action with renewed focus. This balance prevents burnout and ensures sustainable growth. Massive action, sustained over time, is better than short bursts of frenzy followed by collapse. You must cultivate a vision that is stronger than your tiredness. When the why behind your actions is clear and compelling, it creates unstoppable drive. You remind yourself daily of what you are working for. You imagine the future you want and hold that image firmly. This vision acts as a compass. When your body says stop, it pulls you forward when motivation fades. Massive action is easier to maintain when it is rooted in deep purpose. Taking massive action also teaches you about your limits and potential. Each day you push beyond tiredness. You expand your capacity. What once seemed impossible becomes manageable. Your confidence grows. You realize that exhaustion is temporary but regret lasts. This realization changes how you approach challenges. You begin to seek discomfort as a sign of progress, not a warning to quit. When you consistently take action in spite of fatigue, you build momentum that accelerates success. Momentum creates energy. It makes the next action easier. It creates a positive feedback loop, where effort breeds results, and results breed motivation. That cycle becomes your new normal. You become someone who solves problems with discipline, not excuses. Massive action also builds character. It shows you who you truly are beneath your feelings and circumstances. It reveals your true level of commitment. It separates those who talk about change from those who make change happen. This character becomes a foundation that supports every future challenge. You learn that persistence is not about luck or talent, but about choice. Do not wait for energy to return before acting. Energy is often a result of action, not a prerequisite. When you start moving, your mind and body respond. You feel sharper. You think clearer. You gain momentum. Massive action creates its own fuel. This paradox is why taking the first step is the hardest and most important part. Finally, massive action creates a life that cannot be ignored. You build habits that lead to excellence. You achieve goals that once felt distant. You inspire others by your example. You become a force of progress and strength in your own world. Taking massive action daily, even when tired, is the ultimate way to honor your potential and refuse to settle. This is the path of those who achieve greatness, the path of those who understand that success is not about feeling good all the time, but about showing up anyway. The path of those who choose growth over comfort, effort over ease, and progress over pause. When you commit to massive action every day, tired or not, you become unstoppable. Your life changes because you changed how you act. The power lies in your hands right now.